Okay, yeah.
Okay. Zdravo, moj ime je Ruben Badalian i dobrodošli na moj novi emisije. Ovo je moj prijatelj Petar Rusević i danas je nedeljak. Kako si?
Ja sam odlično, prijatelju moj, da, to je your friend Peter Christian Ružević. To je Piotrek Kristijan Ružević. To je pravo moje puno ime i prezime. Evo, ja sam odlično, prijatelju. Today is my great friend's birthday. It's a jubilee. It's his 70th birthday. He will accomplish 70 years today. And so he's an Armenian. On je Jermenin, isto kao ti. He's an Armenian friend of mine.
Yeah.
He's the honorary consul of the Republic of Serbia in Yerevan. I've been to his apartment in Yerevan because he invited me there, and his name is Babken Simonyan. I salute you, Babken. Pozdravljam te, Babken, ovom prilikom. Because he's gonna watch the show as well. So I just sang a happy birthday song to him, and I uploaded it.
Nice.
To YouTube. Yeah, that's great. On poznaje srpske prilike veoma dobro. On govori srpski jezik perfektno, a i ti ideš ka tome.
So your Armenian friend speaks Serbian.
He speaks Serbian language with perfection because he was in the constant contact with Serbia for more than 4 or 5 years.
Oh, wow.
Let's say more than 50 years. So he knows the current political situation. He knows the Serbian politics and language. So he's a great connoisseur of the entire Serbian culture and the situation in general. So he's a great person. He's a poet. On je pesnik. He's a poet. Yeah, I read his poetry, and I'm about to translate one of his books in English and to upload it on Amazon pretty soon. Tako da je to odlično. Drago mi je što ga poznajem. Imam takvog prijatelja.
Okay, so let's get down to business once again. So in our first episode, we talked about our interests or origins of learning languages and history. And we talked a little bit about history, about Bosnian War, and so on and so forth. So yeah, we're going to talk more about that. So
oh yeah, buddy, I'm pro that. Totally. I admire the whole fact that you picked up, that you've chosen Serbian language. It's like I've chosen Farsi or Georgian. Yeah, it's an amazing thing. For an American who was born in New Jersey, nevertheless, to pick up one of the Slavic, South Slavic Indo-European languages, that's awesome. Which has its strict connection with Sanskrit, when many of the Indian languages spoken in India, like Bengali, for example.
No, I didn't know.
Oh yeah. Well, that's been admitted by Rabindranath Tagore or Rabindranath Tagore. Tagore, that's a great Indian poet who wrote his
I'm not
poetry.
familiar with him before, so I'd never heard of him.
He wrote his poetry in Bengali language and later on in English. So he won the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1913.
A year before.
So he said, he admitted that Serbian language has the utmost inner relation and connection with Bengali and with Sanskrit. And when I learned Sanskrit, when I started very young, when I started to learn it superficially, I was a little bit younger even than you now. So later on, I was listening to Indian music, to tabla, sitar, and santur, and I was thoroughly and carefully listening to the words pronounced in the songs. So I have becoming, utterly aware of the inner links and the connections between the Slavic, namely the Serbian language, and the Sanskrit, which is considered the mother tongue of all the languages, or almost the old Indo-European, at least, and Indo-Iranian as well, like Persian is. But later on, I came, and this is going to be very, very interesting to you, because you pursue the Serbian language, you learn, and you speak it very well. You have my congrats on that. I later on, I was researching, and I have figured out that there is a genuine, real possibility that it wasn't the Sanskrit who is the mother language and the predecessor of in Indo-European languages, including Serbian, but instead it was opposite. That Serbian language was the first who later on established Sanskrit, and then the Indian languages were later on developed from. So I'm not saying this because of any nationalistically colored nor patriotic feelings. I don't have it. I have jumped off from my family genealogical tree. I have left the concepts of nation and so on, but I'm just speaking this linguistically, because it comes up somehow that the Serbian language has been the mother language of the origins of the Indo-European and Indo-Iranian languages. So what do you think about that idea as a learner of the Serbian language?
Learner of Serbian language, I think it sounds very nice. And but the largest Slavic language out of all of them, out of the South and West Slavic languages, are probably Russian, because Russian's the largest Slavic language spoken out of those in the category.
Yeah, I'm not claiming nothing. I'm still researching that topic, but they wouldn't agree with those who would claim that Serbian language is the mother tongue of all Slavic languages. They would certainly say, "Oh, we're bigger and wider and widely spread around." So it can be that Serbian language is the mother predecessor of any other one. But those things are really to be thoroughly researched and explored. They deserve it as a topic, because it's important, not to not to make any kind of conflicts nor jealousy to be caused, but just to invest into researching. And I vividly support that, and those soul alone researchers who practice that. I am amongst them. We're preparing a book about that, which is about to be published in Amazon as well.
I know.
Yeah, the origins of Serbian language as the proto language.
Yeah, I think I might get a book about that too, because I'm.
You got it?
No, I didn't, but I'm thinking about getting it. So.
Yeah. Yeah, there are several books on that topic, Bila je Olga Luković-Pjanović. Ona je imala dosta problema, ona je bila, Olga Luković-Pjanović. Ona je napisala jednu debelu knjigu, krupnu, koja se zove Srbi, narod najstariji. I tu je iznela, ona imala je mnogo problema političkih i uopšte u inkarnaciji, u životu, ali tu je iznela podatke. Ja sam čitao tu knjigu stvarno, to nije toliko ni važno, nije toliko ni bitno. Sad nacija izlazi polako iz mode, i nacija, i religija, i država, sve to ide u penziju, kao što i red ide ad acta u fioku, jer to će se spontano dogoditi, ali koncept je jako interesantan, da je stvarno srpski jezik taj majka, da kažem, i osnova svih jezika, i the mother predecessor of at least the Indo-European ones, the ideas.
Yeah, so Peter, so he was like the founder of Serbian language, basically, like kind of like my thoughts was of the Armenian language.
Oh yeah. So who are you thinking about? No, the woman who was the author of the book. That was a female. Now not he, but she.
Okay.
Olga, yeah, Olga.
Olga.
Tako se zvala. Imaš na YouTube o njoj materijal, to je odlično. A sad imam gomila tih samostalnih istraživača koji u stvari istražuju to iz, da kažem, iz ljubavi, iz lične posvećenosti. Ne toliko da isteruju pravdu, nego prosto bave se time i žele da dokažu sebi da je to tako, njima je to značajno. Meni nije toliko. Meni može biti i Maori jezik sa Novog Zelanda, majka jezik svih jezika, meni je sve jedno. Ali evo, ja govorim ovaj jezik, tako da može da bude i tako. Da ja podržavam svako naučno istraživanje koje je ozbiljno. Ja.
Yeah, the founder of Serbian language, that was Vuk Karadžić. He basically founded the Serbian language or created the alphabet.
Yeah, I mean the modern Serbian language, not the Serbian language itself per se, but the modern Serbian language. Yeah, he has expelled certain amount of words and syllables, the vowels out of the language.
Reformed the language, basically.
Sorry?
Reformed the language.
Yeah, he reformed the language, da. Tako da nije Vuk otac srpskog jezika, nego da kažem otac modernog srpskog jezika. I on je usvojio ono Adelungovo pravilo, to je bio Adelung, nije Vuk, koje kaže piši kao što govoriš, čitaj kako je napisano. Znači, jedan glas je reprezentovan jednom grafemom, jednim slovom. To je srpski jezik. Takav je i gruzijski isto, znaš. Samo što Gruzini imaju drugo pismo, potpuno drugačije i od kirilice i od latine. A dobro, naravno nije Vuk sam bio u tome, to je bio Jernej Kopitar. Čuo si za njega sigurno, a to je bilo povezano i sa tim ilirskim pokretom koji je favorizovao Ljudevit Gaj i sa tim panslavističkim pokretom, bilo je toga i u Rusiji isto. I pa je bio Sava Mrkalj, isto, on je napisao jedan pamflet, jedan esej koji se zvao Salo debeloga jera. Bilo je, možda tvoja majka to zna, bilo je slovo jer u staroslovenskoj azbuci, jer, ja, jus, o, ja, tik, tita, ižica i tako dalje. To jer, to je ostalo iz tog crkvenog Church Slavonic language, which was the ecclesiastical language in the Slavic Christian Church. On je, Sava Mrkalj je napisao to da bi objasnio sebi da li je to slovo jer uopšte potrebno. I onda je Vuk izbacio to jer, a zadržao je. Ti kad pišeš na kirilici, ti imaš slovo je. Tako da mnoge stvari je izbacio. Recimo izbacio je 3 ili 4 slova. Da, on je bio mason, bio je Freemason, pa to su mu tako rekli da izbaci. Znaš, inače bio je austrijski đak, austrijski agent.
So which Slavic language do you like the most, or like the one you like studying? Like which Slavic language you like out of all of them?
Well, I studied Russian. I love it. I learned it. I've been drowned into the core of the Russian language within more than 20 years. And so I started in the U.S. back in the day. It was 1999 or 2000. I don't remember quite clearly. But I bumped into the Russian section, and they all spoke Russian among themselves. So in order to be able to adapt, I had to start a quick learning. So I started. И я не всех, когда приехал, я там не всех говорил по-русски между собой. И вот так я учил. И вот это был самый большой разлог моего знания.
Ты говорил по-русски?
Говорение, говоришь, конечно, что я говорил по-русски. Это очевидно, конечно же.
I kind of like, yeah, I like Serbian because that's the language I'm learning. Out of the all Slavic languages, and I kind of like Russian because I want to learn Russian next. After
Oh, Russians. Русский будет следующий язык для тебя, если же это так, если же это правда. Русский будет следующий для тебя. Biće sledeći ruski tvoj, tako?
Разума мало.
Ну, я понял, понятно, я понимаю. Вот. Мне сказать, я понимаю. Мне скажут так, я понимаю. Okay. And I've learned Polish as well because my grandfather was
Slavic language.
Polish. Sorry?
Your third Slavic language. That was the third one you learned.
Yeah, that's Polish.
Of course.
Ale nie mówię bardzo dobrze językiem polskiego, ale rozumiem bardzo. Mój dziaduszka był Polakiem, bo uczę poznać. To takie jest imię moje, Piotr Krużewicz.
Ruski, serbski i polski język są slučajny język, jer słowiański języka.
Sličny, tak. Yeah, they're very mutually similar.
Yeah.
They have the similar structure in their core. You know, they're mutually interlinked. And it's easier to Polish person to understand the Serbian conversation than vice versa. Gosh.
What after Polish? The other Slavic languages you study after Polish, Russian.
Yeah, well, they're Czech.
Czech, of course.
Yeah. Slovak. Yeah. There's also Macedonian, but that's the southern, in a way, corrupted way of the Serbian language. That's an idiom, a dialect of southern Serbian language.
Yeah, they say like actually Bulgarian and not Slovenian, Macedonian and Bulgarian are similar or same language. Bulgarski i makedonski su isto jezik.
Skoro isti, da ti kažem, skoro isti, gotovo isti. Vrlo su slični.
Da.
Ja sam slušao tamo i jedne i druge i mogu ti reći da sadrže veoma veliku količinu sličnosti jedan i drugi. A Bugari nisu Sloveni, oni su Tatari u stvari. To je turkijsko pleme sa Volge. Volgari i sa reke Bug.
Da li govoriš makedonski ili ne?
Pa mogu da razumem dosta, znaš.
Razumem malo.
Da, mogu da razumem dosta makedonskog, zato što ja sam se rodili u Jugoslaviji.
Yeah, bivši Yugoslavia. That was one of the 6 republics of former bivši Yugoslavia.
Yeah, that was the most southern one.
Yeah, so what was life like in Yugoslavia? Kako se živeli u bivši Jugoslaviji?
A ja sam živeo samo 14 godina pre nego što sam otišao u state u Jugoslaviji, a dobro, mislim, posle sam dolazio određeni broj puta, a živjelo se lepo, da ti kažem. Moji roditelji su živjeli jako lepo, na primjer, znaš. Kako?
Yeah, so people lived in Yugoslavia like freely. They had like more opportunities. They could travel outside of the country than compared to the Soviet Union. So
the Yugoslav red passport, the Tito's passport, so-called, it was a very widely popular among the wannabes, because everybody wanted, or almost everybody wanted to have it. It was like what the U.S. passport became later on, or like the Russian passport is now. Ну вот, что было югославянский паспорт, это русский паспорт, здесь сейчас, сегодня. Это русский паспорт.
Yeah, like in the Soviet Union, you can't leave the country without permission. So that was the rule in Soviet Union, because my family lived there.
A highly oppressive state.
Yeah, highly oppressive. No freedom of speech you had in Soviet Union.
Yeah, some like the North Korea of the day.
Yeah,
but it's about to cease soon. It's about to change globally and partially. Yeah, you've seen that Steven Seagal has claimed, and he finally won the battle. So he has been given the Russian passport. So he had to switch the position and to reclaim that he's Russian originally. Over the 90s, he claimed that he's of Italian descent, and now he changed the story in order to be able to pursue the Russian passport. You've seen that?
No. Nah.
Only dobio ruski pasoš, da. And many also claimed Russian passport. Yeah.
Yeah, during the Soviet Union time, if you didn't show up to work or go to college, you would just get arrested and then you will be thrown into jail. That was during the one of the Soviet leaders. I believe it was Yuri Andropov, who was former KGB agent or a director, and he made new rules saying that if you did not go to work or college, you would get arrested. So that was like playing hooky in the school or not showing up. So it's crazy.
Yuri Andropov, это очень интересный человек для меня.
Yeah. People were scared of him.
Yeah.
And then before Andropov, there was Brezhnev. Brezhnev, he was like the big eyebrows and stuff. So, yeah.
Yeah, Andropov died in 1984.
Yeah, that's
and he
right.
we're going to spread the subject a little more later on. He was the main personality in the KGB structure who was in charge for the UFO, the extraterrestrial alien program. He was about to cover up. So he was the one who broke the current silence conspiracy, and he said, okay, we're gonna have to unveil this UFO topic to the vast majority of the population someday. So Yuri Andropov was a very, very important personality, if anything is. And Leonid Brezhnev, he was a homosexual. Did you know that?
Yeah, I know, because he was kissing other leaders.
Yeah, because he was kissing another man.
Yeah.
There is a picture, a photograph containing that kiss. I don't have nothing against, but I'm just quoting. I'm just saying that. Yeah. Let everybody do what they want. Yeah, but that's an interesting story. There is a lot of in America we don't say black, as we know. It's strictly important to use the word black due to the political correctness. We say African Americanized. So there is a lot of African Americanized people in Russia. Did you know that?
No,
they speak Russian perfectly.
Oh wow, I didn't know that till now.
Yeah, они совершенно говорят по-русски между собой и с другими гражданинами. So they came from, they're the descendants of the population that originally derived from South America, who settled to Mexico and to the U.S., who lived in New York City and New Mexico and so on. So they, became the expats. So they repatriated when they craved and claimed and kindly asked for the Soviet citizenship. And they got it. So their descendants now live in Russia.
Yeah.
And they're black colored. They speak the language perfectly.
And then after Andropov, there was Chernenko, but he didn't rule the country for a long time. He just ruled the country for 1 year.
Черненко, кто же был?
Chernenko, the former leader of not Yugoslavia, Soviet Union, after Andropov died.
Oh yeah, that's true. Был Yagoda тоже. There was a guy named Yagoda,
Yeah, but that was during the Stalin time in the 1930s.
Yeah, and Stalin was almost the most interesting personality, because there isn't known much about his origins. There ain't no such a thing like Stalin's father. Do you want me to unveil the secret to you? You know, he doesn't have a father. He has been conceived in a rape. So the Tatars or the Tartars came across the village of Gori in Georgia. I've been there.
Yeah, that was where Stalin was born.
Yeah, I lived there for some time in Gori. So they came across the village on horses' backs, and they raped the peasant females, the women inside the village. So he has been one of the sons of those horsemen rapers, Tatars. So he's been adopted later on by a priest named Vissarion. So that's why his name is Yosif Vissarionovich Zhugashvili Stalin.
That was his birth name.
But in Georgian language, the word shvili means the offspring, the descendant. Yeah.
No.
Potomak. So yeah, and he went to the theological seminary as well as Seministe.
Yeah.
Bogoslovsko, and but he wasn't originally initiated into the Orthodoxy. He wasn't in Orthodox. He was a Sufi. He was initiated into the Sufi mysteries. That's the Dervish order. That has been founded long ago. Sorry?
Yeah, and Stalin's mother wanted him to become a priest. That's what I read. But he didn't want to become a priest. He read the writings of Karl Marx, and that's how he became interested in communism.
Oh yeah, he switched. He introduced himself to the Communist Party. So he became an important figure inside of it, and he would come to get bigger and better, so more prominent, and he rose to prominence when he was still a young man, approximately. So later on, he became the leader. That wasn't the exact leader, like Putin isn't the leader, the very leader now. Yes. I'm going to tell it to you later because it belongs to our topic, nevertheless. But it cannot be 100 personalities at the table. So there has to be one. So Stalin has been chosen, and I want to tell you who initiated him into the Dervish order of Sufi. It was Gurdjieff.
No, ne znam to.
Georgi Ivanovich Gurdjieff. It was an esoteric connoisseur and a wise man and a sage who wrote an exquisite and extraordinary book, one of the best reads, one of the best books I've ever read in my life. And it's called All and Everything, Beelzebub's Tales to His Grandson. Все и вся, to je Beelzebubove priče svome unuku. Govori Beelzebula svojim vnukom. Govori Beelzebula svojim vnukom. So that's the esoteric history of the humankind, the geological, biological, and the historical approach to the esoteric, the hidden, meaning the hidden storyline of the human race, and the interconnection with Mars and Saturn and other systems like Jupiter and so on. So that personality, and from the novel Beelzebub, travels in a spaceship entitled The Possibility, Mogłośność, carrying his grandson to another planets, to another planetary systems, and explaining him the esoteric knowledge and the hidden wisdom, the occult secrets. So why am I saying all of this to you? Because the author of that book was Gurdjieff, and he initiated Stalin into the Sufi order. Stalin je bio derviš.
No,
Stalin был dervišem.
So last time we talked about Bosnian War and the other conflicts. So like World War II, like Drugi Svjetski rat, like the Czech Organization, Draza Mihailovic, and Milan Nedic. We didn't talk about that in the last first episode. So what was the?
We didn't, or we did?
No,
sorry, we didn't.
We did not.
We did.
So like the Czech Organization. So that was like a resistance movement fight against the Nazis.
Oh yeah. Draža Mihailović je bio velika žrtva pored svega toga. You know, many people thought that it was just a mere villain or a criminal or a butcher or or just a right. person to be killed.
Right.
But it was instead an educated, honored man. You know, people are unveiling and rediscovering the real truth about his state of mind, his psyche, and the truth about his life and political activities. I'm not saying nothing. I'm not on anybody's side. I don't have to choose a side. Mm-hmm. And I think that I may representing person of an era which is about to start right over now. Right about now, and it's the era of the maintenance without warfare conflicts and maintaining life using the AI. I'm a personality who belongs to another part of the civilization called the Teslian civilization, founded by Tesla. But just I want to, regarding Draža Mihailović, I want to tell you that he served as a military corps baseline which was having the purpose to cut off the supplies and connections to Urban Rommel, the Red Fox, namely.
Yeah, I know him.
Yeah, who was operating in Sahara Desert and Northern Africa. Mm-hmm. So that was Draža's main purpose, one of the main purposes. Da, njega je ubio Krcun, Slobodan Penezić Krcun, to je engleska linija, to je značajna figura, taj Krcun. Ja imam knjigu o njemu, znaš, o tom Slobodanu Peneziću. To ćemo isto sljedeći put, to možemo jako dobro iskoristiti, razgovaramo i o Krcunu. On je značajna figura i on ga je ubio, on je sasuo cartridge, kako se kaže, šaržer u njega, iz mitraljeza, tamo na Avali, tamo su ga ubili i na kraju su zakopali njegovu glavu, to mi je pričao taj koji je učestvovao sa Krcunom u tom, da kažem, likvidaciji. Odeli su ga, ocekli su mu tu glavu. Mm-hmm. Jedan je hteo da ga zakolje, ali nije uspeo u tome, nego nije stigao, pošto Draža se bio naljutio na Krcuna i pljunuo ga, to nije mogao da izdrži i streljao ga, ubio ga iz mašingevera. I taj što je trebao da ga zakolje, on je došao i rekao, ja upao u depresiju, kako to nisam uspeo ja. A kaže Krcun, ne brini, svakako ćeš mu ti odrubiti glavu. On mu odsekao glavu i sada su glavu stavili u box, jednu kutiju. Sjetit ću se šta je bilo napisano na njoj i odneli su je na Frušku goru. I tamo su, pošto te interesuje Draža, onda da znaš kako je završio Draža. I zakopali su tu glavu, kako je završio inkarnaciju. Tu glavu su zakopali tamo, ima mesto na Fruškoj gori gde su zakopali, to su markirali. Pa da, na Fruškoj gori, to su zakopali gore u Sremu. I to je tamo raspadalo se nekoliko decenija i tek pre nekoliko godina, pre 5 godina, su otišli taj što je učestvovao treći u tim kolima, u tom ubistvu, otišao je tamo da iskopa to i iskopao je tu njegov skal, tu njegovu lobanju i odneli su da ne bi se to razvlačilo, da ne bi izazvao neke šokove u javnosti, mada i ne bi izazvao neke velike. On je odneo to u topionicu u Smederevo i ispalio tu glavu.
Ćao.
Eto, tako je završila Dražina glava spaljena u topionici u Smederevu, ta lobanja njegova. Eto, to sam ti odao tajnu iz državno bezbednosti struktura.
On je bio vođe četničkog Pokreta.
A jeste, bilo je još četnika tu, bilo je bio Nikola Kalabić, čuo si za Kalabića.
Također,
ne znam još.
Sorry? I također on je bio iz Ivanica, to je grad u Srbiji. That's city.
Ivanjica.
That's where he's from.
Yeah.
That's where he was born.
A da, tamo je bio rođen. Da. I bilo je još tih četničkih vojvoda, recimo bio je Pop Đujić, bio je vojvoda Momčilo Đujić, on je Šešelja uveo mislim nije ga uveo, nego ga je proglasio za četničkog vojvodu na Vidovdan. Da.
On govori Bulgarski. He also spoke Bulgarian because he learned it when he was in Sofia. He was on a military mission there, I think.
Ko, Draža?
Da.
Oh yeah. You know many things about him. You know many things about him. That was that Chetniks movement. That Chetnik movement was consisted of the members of the royal guard. Those were the official royal king's, King Peter's guard. So it's not connected solely with the crimes, with the atrocities made during the warfare, but instead those were the king's keepers.
So yeah, Draza wanted to make Yugoslavia a kingdom again, because before World War II, Yugoslavia was a kingdom, and then after World War II and after the occupation, it became communist nation. So Draza wanted to make, after war ended, he wanted to make Yugoslavia a kingdom, but on the other hand, Tito wanted to make Yugoslavia a communist nation.
Oh yeah. And that was the main reason for the conflict between two of them. Yeah, because just the political disagreement between them. So that's about to happen to Serbian territory now. It's about to become a kingdom soon. It might be not, but it has a certain amount of chance. It has certain chances to become a kingdom. Because that would be the best offer for them. That would be the best situation to get into, to become a kingdom.
Yeah, but throughout Serbian history, Serbia was a kingdom like multiple times throughout history. Before, but
it's stupid to think about any other establishment of a state order like a kingdom or a republic, because everything is about to perish.
Right.
And the couloirs and the boudoirs of history soon. But because the AI and the Tesla technology is about to overcome all of those issues, like redundant. Those spatial forms of existence are clearly redundant in this very moment. And the next civilization, the Tesla civilization. But it's better for Serbs and Serbian country and their nation to become a royal state, a kingdom run by a kind of a king's figure. So king's figure is ridiculous. It's a funny thing. Who's the king's personality in this moment on the planet Earth that you know very well? Nobody. There is the Spanish king or the queen. There is the Belgian, Belgian or Norwegian, but those are just the figures. Those are just the figures, like the nasledni kralj, the hereditary royal personality, which does not have any function.
Right.
Like the Queen Elizabeth. Queen Elizabeth had died, and they are not even able to unveil that. They don't want to open up and to discover that secret to the English nation, and the British country is about to become a republic soon, because if the queen if she died, and she surely did die, England is about to stop being a kingdom and to become being led by the Republican Party.
So
that's maybe shocking.
yeah.
That's maybe shocking for the vast majority of Britons, right? Maybe the Scotland, the land of Scots, is about to disjoin from the marriage, from the brotherhood, but which
So
the
yeah,
UK is consisted of. So it's about to stop being a kingdom, going to become a republic.
So we talked about Draza, that he was put on trial by the communists, and he said like Miloš Vasiljević was like one of your ancestors or something, or grandparents, I think that was.
Ne, on me nije ništa. Miloš Milić je moje žene, majke moje žene, deda stric. He was the grandfather, uncle grandfather to my mother-in-law, to my wife's mother. So he was the main prosecutor during the ceremony, the trial before the out speaking of the verdict, the official verdict. He was the prosecutor,
right?
To Dražen Mihailović. So yeah, he's been condemned to death, of course.
A šta je se Milan Nedić? Milan Nedić je bio predsjednik Vlada narodnog spasa tokom njemačke okupacije.
Pa eto, ti si sam rekao, yeah, that was his function during the war, and he was in the committee that was advocating and proposing the liberation of Nikolai Velimirovich from the Dachau prison and the concentration camp in Germany.
Yeah,
because he's been incarcerated over there.
Yeah, he took him out of the concentration camp.
Yeah, who talked about it? Me?
Yeah, you talked about it before.
Yeah, I sent you the messages containing that information. Yeah, there was in Dachau, in the very camp, there was a section called the Special Department. So he was serving his sentence and being over the period of captivity, being incarcerated in the camp, and that special department with the Gavrilo Dojic, with the patriarch of the Serbian church. So yeah, he was the patriarch.
Yeah.
Of the Serbian church. Đorđe Medenica, to mu je bilo pravo ime, tom Gavrilu Dožiću. Patriarch.
Milan Nedić also saved Serbs that were being executed from the Germans or the SDSH, the Croatian fascist organization during the war.
Yeah, who's been killed? Sorry.
No, the Serbs were being killed during the World War II, Drugom svetskom rat, and then Milan Nedić was saving them from being.
Oh yeah, Vojska narodnog spasa, da, to si rekao.
Government of National Salvation, yeah.
Yeah, but and over the period of his Nedić rulership, the Serbian territory has been awesomely reduced to very narrow and poor, limits and borders. It was like the area that it was consisting of during the period of the Ottoman Empire rulership. Right. It was pretty much similar when you watch the maps, the political maps from
that time, yeah.
Era, that time, yeah, it was pretty much similar to it.
Yeah, it was so
okay.
small.
Like in any kind of an ungrateful facial moment, ungrateful political momentum and time to be stuck in. All of those personalities contain a certain amount of controversy inside of them, right?
Yeah.
So there is a lot of books written about every album, speaking totally different things. You know, where it was about Draja or about Milan Nedic or anybody else.
Savitsky Savez, Milan Nedic.
Yeah.
And then
or
also
the USSR.
And then also during World War II, Yugoslavia had a government in exile, but that was in London.
Oh yeah, that was King Peter II. Yeah,
Yes, that's right.
Petar II. Yeah, yeah. He escaped. He
Escaped from
he went to London,
Germans.
London town. Yeah.
And then there was a lot of prime ministers in power. There was Dusan Zimovich, but he was the prime minister of when Germans attacked the Yugoslavia.
Oh yeah.
Dusan Zimovich, and then there was Slobodan Jovanovic, but he was like a Serbian historian.
Yeah, and the lawyer, he was the attorney, he was the jurist, Serbian jurist.
Yeah.
Very prominent one.
Right.
And he hasn't been rehabilitated for many years. I think it wasn't rehabilitated, not even now, due to the political disagreements between the parties, the sections, I call. And yeah, you know many things about that. I read that Slobodan Jovanovic opus. I read his books. And I want to tell you that a very interesting fact, that an anecdote, that the young King Peter, the second, he went to the 33rd floor of the New Yorker hotel where Nikola Tesla has been spending the last days of his incarnation. And they met. They have an arranged encounter, Tesla and the young king. So Tesla expressed his support to Yugoslavia and his high hopes that it will soonly be liberated from the foes, from its enemies, and from the pressure, and that the Third Reich is about to be broken soon, that it's about to break down. The experiences break down soon. So he supported the king, and he mentioned his father.
But before
who left the legacy.
But before Peter II, it was Peter I. And there's actually a movie called Kralj Petar I, the first king of the king before Peter II. There's a movie about it.
You watched that movie?
Yeah, it was in Serbian though, but I understood.
Yeah, the last year was the centennial of King Peter I's burial.
Yeah,
he died in 1921.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and nevertheless, he had 3 sons. There was the King Alexander. As a matter of fact, he was the regent. He didn't become a king here because he has been now crowned to be a king. I'm talking about Alexander.
Yeah, I know.
Right. He was born in Montenegro, and he's the personality who contains the utmost amount of controversy in the political realm, because he had jurisprudentially annihilated Serbia and the land of his ancestry, the land of his ancestors, Montenegro, by announcing Yugoslavia as the state. I don't have nothing against Yugoslavia, of course.
Yeah. So
December the 1st, 1918. That was the date of the proclamation of Yugoslavia.
Yeah. So during World War I, there was like a retreat of the Serbian army through Albania because Germany, Bulgaria, Austria-Hungary, they invaded Serbia and it came under occupation. And then Serbia retreated through the snowy Mount Stowing when it was snowing in the mountains.
Yeah, he didn't inform anybody about that. I'm talking about the Regent Alexander, who's been killed in Marseille later on.
Yeah, that's right.
But you're talking about the retreat, the withdrawal
1915
through the Albanian mountains.
Yes, when it was snowing.
Oh yeah, and a lot of them had died. A lot of people died over there.
Yeah, 1915. That was also when Armenian genocide was taking place.
Oh yeah, those were the simultaneous events. They that mutually probably aren't that much connected, but they are nevertheless they speak a lot about that current situation. Yeah, the Armenian genocide that had been committed by Turks, by
Ottoman Empire, yeah.
Ottoman empires, and by Kurdish people who were used in that conflict.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Ottomans were using Albanians or against Serbs in that time. And there was, during that trip, that trip of misery and you know, courage, because there was a courageous, a brave act to penetrate through those mountains. There's been a lot of you know, burglaries and plundering, you know, killing sprees by the ballista, you know, ballisti, you know, ballast movement.
Yeah, Ottomans were committing genocide against Greeks too. Greeks were being killed by Turks too.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Well, whenever an empire is established, it's been solely done against the liberty and the personal security of the individuals of the nation that has been done against. So it's not only about Greeks, you know, it's been done to the Algonquian, the Indian, namely population in North America, has been done against anybody. So that's why Tesla's civilization that is about to commence right now is the best solution for that, because there ain't no need for plundering, for killing sprees, for you know, taking away the others' territories, for supplies, for the energetic needs.
Vojislav Šešelj. A šta je se Vojislav Šešelj?
Pa Šešelj je pa znaš ko je, mislim, lider radikalne stranke srpske, to je naslednik naslednik one stranke koju je vodio Nikola Pašić. To je to. A dobro, to se zove kontraobaveštajac. On je zavrbovan za CIA još u Tuzli 92. znaš. Šešelj, ali ima veze jake i sa ruskima, tako da je to kontra, što kaže obaveštajna služba. I to svi rade, to je normalno, mislim, to nije ništa, da kažem, loše i tako. On je, pitao si me za Arkana nekoliko puta, on je imao problem sa Arkanom, znaš. Jedini koji mu se suprotstavio, pošto Arkan je bio izvor straha tada.
Oh, you're saying there were problems with Arkan?
Pa da, i on je jedini koji, nije jedini, ali mu se suprotstavio, jedan od retkih koji su mu se suprotstavili. Njega je zvao Arkan i rekao mu da dođe na sastanak, a on kaže, dobro, hoću, ali ne baš tamo gde bih mogao da budem likvidiran bez razloga, nego hoću da se sretnemo u kafani Ruski car. Ta kafana se nalazi u Beogradu, na Obilićevom vencu. Bio sam u toj kafani. I došao je Arkan sa još jednim čovekom koji je visok otprilike kao Šešelj ili ja, znači 2 metra, ali veće snage, da kažem. I to mu je bio bodyguard. A Šešelj je u to vreme nosio neki pištolj koji je bio Broving, ja mislim, otprilike ništa preterano, ali vršio je posao. I nosio ga tu ovde modelu, i Arkan naravno stavi pištolj na sto kao i svaki pravi kriminalac za stila i odmah kaže ja tebe poštujem kao osobu, ali kaže ti moraš da pustiš navijače Crvene zvezde da istupe iz tvoje stranke i tvojeg pokreta i da pređu kod mene. A Šešelj kaže odmah koji stopa navijači, to se zovu delije ti navijači. Ti navijači Crvene zvezde su samostalno pristupili srpskom četničkom pokretu i ti sa tim, ti tu ne možeš ništa. I Arkan mu kaže, dobro, ja sam mnogo ljudi ubio u životu, ti još nisi ni jednoga, pripazi molim te. I tako se to završilo. Nije poznato šta bi bilo da je došlo do otvaranja vatre, ali Šešelj mi je to pričao lično da verovatno on ne bi imao nikakve šanse. I posle su sve novine pričali, takozvana žuta štampa o tome, o tom događaju. Tako da, eto, tako se to završilo. Ali, i to mi je rekao Šešelj, kaže, udarao sam ja i na veće od Arkana, udarao sam i na Tita. He was striking back even to Tito back in the day. Zato je bio u Zenici između ostalog, u zatvoru. To je zatvor jedan u SFRJ u Bosni.
There was another Serbian politician who was killed, Zoran Đinđić. He was fought against corruption in Serbia.
Yeah, as soon as he started being disobedient to those ones who put him at the place where he was, the place of the prime minister.
Yeah,
has been shot. Has got a bullet.
He was killed.
Yeah, in the chest. And that's been done by a British agent. He pulled the trigger. Ne Zvezdan Jovanović, to je žrtveno jagnje. To je engleski agent povukao barač i on je odmah bio sproveden do aerodroma na Surčinu i otišao je. He fled back to the UK, as well as I am informed. So, so the British agent pulled the trigger, I'm telling that to you. Yeah, and he's been hit by a car, by an automobile. It was a form of an accident, but there was a warning. There was a warning not to do what he was doing before. So he's been shot later on, as well as you know very well.
Yeah.
And has been done March 12th, 2003.
Yeah, I was born after that. Born before that.
You still wasn't born then, right?
No, I was born before that happened.
The same, yeah.
Yeah.
You were born the same year. Yeah, you were born 2002, right?
The previous year.
So, tako da ipak jesi bio rođen, jel? So nevertheless, you were born before that, yeah.
And I was, and then before the Vehiyadu Dva, there was the Vehiyadu Jedan, that was the 9/11, the crashing the planes of the buildings.
Oh yeah, but the Americans, I myself am an American, you're an American as well, but Americans did it to themselves. Yeah. You know, there is a book called The Great Hoax.
Yeah, like Bush was like in a school in Sarasota, Florida, and he heard the news that a first plane hit the building, and then he just laughed. He said, that must have been a bad pilot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and you're not supposed to laugh at something like that, man. You're supposed to take it seriously.
Yeah, the World Trade Center has had to be demolished, and you
don't laugh at something like that when that happens, man. If you're president, you're supposed to get
down.
Yeah.
And they had to invade Afghanistan after that, so that was the leading point for the events, the allegedly called war against terrorism that came later.
Right. And like this, it's strange because like some of the people who took part in the attack, they went through a different airport because it was in Portland, Maine. Two terrorists were in Portland, Maine, and they took a plane from Portland, Maine to Boston. and then from Boston into one of the World Trade Center towers. So it's very strange why they took another plane. And then
and if you watch the face of George W. Bush, named George Bush Jr., who has the 80 units of IQ, by the way. I has twice as bigger than him, but he has 80. His face was clearly and solely speaking about the knowledge that he had about the upcoming event. So he was informed, quite before that the events had happened. So okay, it's been busted. We know about the story.
Right.
They had to invade Iraq and Afghanistan.
But Iraq was a different story because that happened in 2003. Afghanistan happened in 2001. Iraq happened in 2003. But it was all because of a simple lie. Because Bush said there was weapons of mass destruction, and he was wrong because they didn't find anything there.
Yeah, they just wanted to invade the country in order to occupy it. There wasn't any. They knew that there wasn't any mass destruction weapon.
Yeah, that's right.
But they wanted to invade those two countries. Yeah, that was a part of the way much larger picture.
To get rid of
against Islam and gaining the territories. Yeah,
get rid of Saddam
gaining the supplies, the oil, which is old primitive way of functioning. Because after Tesla and his inventions, we don't have any reason to struggle for the oil, which is about to expire soon, because the oil supplies are. I mean, man, come on, it's done.
Yeah.
We're about to move using the free energy, the zeroth point energy, and that's I will discuss about Luke. About that subject too, and I can discuss about that with you as well.
They wanted to get rid of Saddam Hussein, so that's why they went into Iraq.
Okay, yeah, exactly. But I know that Saddam Hussein has been kindly removed. He wasn't been killed. Why? Why do I say that? Whenever a person had died, you have to see the corpse, the cadaver, the carcass. So there wasn't any. It's the same like in the case with Slobodan Milosevic. Did you see the corpse of Slobodan Milosevic? No, you didn't. I neither. I didn't see it neither. So it's been removed. It's been removed because
they have his body buried. They have Slobodan Milosevic.
Yeah, no, there wasn't an open coffin. There wasn't. There was a theatrical ploy for the credulent, naive individuals who were attending that, and there wasn't any corpse inside. Like there ain't no corpse in Tito's alleged grave. It's inside of Tito's grave. There are the Freemasonic and the Illuminati insignia and memorabilia and paraphernalia, like a stone, a milestone, and the horse head.
Yeah, and Bin Laden's body, there was no picture
of symbol
either.
Sorry?
There was no picture of Bin Laden's body either
No, because he's alive. He works for CIA. He's a collaborator with the CIA. He wasn't shot. He works for them because the one you've been investing into is not about to be easily murdered. You don't renounce it that easily. You don't give up. You don't destroy easily the one that you've been investing into. All right. Those are the highly intelligent profiles that are highly needed for CIA. That's why both Slobodan and Saddam Hussein have been removed.
Right.
If you watched that theatrical play named the hanging process of Saddam Hussein, you will see that there was a man that had been
even during the 90s, when the war in Bosnia was taking place, it was like, I think Bin Laden was in the Bosnia or somewhere. He was like helping the Muslims fight against Serbs, I think.
Yeah, he has the Bosnian passport too.
Yeah, that's right. I heard about that story. Yeah. And then in the 90s, Bill Clinton was trying to find bin Laden, but he was hiding in the Sudan, and the Sudan refused to give bin Laden over to the United States, and he fled over to Afghanistan.
Yeah, he was hiding in one place in Bosnia,
Yeah.
and in Sarajevo. He was often going there to see the sheikhs from Bosnia, the bags. You know who's having the Bosnian passport as well? Bono. Is
No,
Bono
I'm not familiar
Box?
with who Bono is.
Yeah, Paul Hughesan, and there's the singer of U2. You know U2, the Irish band.
No.
It was a beautiful day. Don't let it get away. It was a beautiful day. And touch me. And take me to another place. Teach me. I know I'm not a hopeless case. No. You know, that's Bono. Box. He is a proud holder of the Bosnian passport too. Because he's been given it by Alija Izetbegovic, you know?
Oh, cool.
His son is kind of running the Bosnian state now, one of the third constituting elements and factors of the Bosnian government now. Bosnia is a very strange country. I've been there recently with my wife. So
yeah, Bosnia has multiple religions. It has like Muslim, because some Bosnians are Muslim, and some of them are Christians. Muslims,
Catholics,
Catholics,
Jews, even Sephardic Jews, the descendants of those who came up from Spain.
Serbs were killing Bosnians because they were Muslims during the Bosnian War.
Yeah, they were all mutually killing, each other, because there are the atrocities in every war.
Yeah,
and they are the victims, like children and women and
the United States was bombing. Yeah, United States was bombing Yugoslavia in the 90s. But why were they bombing Yugoslavia? Zašto? They were bombing Yugoslavia in the 90s.
Well, they were bombing the Yugoslav territory because Slobodan Milosevic mainly did not allow them to enter the Kosovo territory, to invade it by tanks and the military equipment, because they wanted the base like they have it in Germany.
Yeah.
Or in Japan. Those are the U.S. colonies, the U.S. overseas territories. They said to a general in Bosnia, when he said, "We're going to expel you from Bosnia," and he retorted, "Okay, we invaded Germany some 50 years ago, and we still didn't get out."
Yeah, even a lot of Bosnians were starting to come to the United States and other parts of the world because Bill Clinton let them come into the U.S.
Yeah, and I have already explained to you that that's a war against the Orthodox religion partially, and that's the way to maintain a warfare against Russia, because they see Serbs as tiny Russians.
Yeah, that's right.
As little Russia on the Balkans, and Russia was always having its interests, which date back to the diplomacy in the 19th and the 18th century, and even before, Georgia and so on. So they wanted to prevent Russia from outbursting on the Warm Sea coast. And that would be the Adriatic Sea. Just be aware and just see who's buying the apartments, who's buying the complexes of flats and the buildings and the resorts and Montenegro coast. Russians do. Yeah. And Chinese will do the rest, and Arabs will do some too. So
even during the 90s, there was a war in Chechnya, Russia. There was like there were two wars in Chechnya. That was like Russians fighting against Chechens because
I know. I know. A big salute for all of my Chechen friends because I have Chechen friends, a lot of them.
So
yeah.
You told me you speak Chechen. So what does it sound like?
Well, I had to learn it. I learned it over the years. I didn't have the last time when I visited Chechnya was when I was in Georgia. So I just crossed the border. So I entered Russian territory. I entered, and my friends took me to Grozny,
the capital,
yeah, the capital of it, yeah, and it's been rebuilt. It's a beautiful country. I would like you to come there as well because it deserves to be seen. It's a gorgeous
people are really scared.
now.
People are really scared to go there because like the wars and stuff that happened there, shooting and stuff.
Oh no, they have seen that I have the real, genuine love towards Chechen people and their culture and language. They offered me Gigi Golnosh. That's the Chechen, like their national cuisine dish. So they have seen they are not to be deceived. If you love them, if you respect them, they will know how to appreciate that. So they call me their brother. They're calling me their brother. And I was wearing a beard like a real Chechen. I removed that because my wife doesn't want to kiss me if I'm wearing a large beard like a Chetnik or like a Chechen.
Yeah.
And so I had to remove it. So if you met me a couple of the weeks ago, I will be wearing a large beard.
Yeah, you have a beard.
Not like Leo Tolstoy for sure, but definitely was a large one. So they accepted me. I have a lot of friends from Ichkeria, that's the official name for Chechen Republic. And I've been to their houses, and apartments, and I salute every of them now. They're certainly going to watch when I have time to. They're going to watch this video because I'm going to spread the links to them. So you're going to be watched in Chechnya, my friend.
Yeah.
And when you watch my Amazon browsing history and my library, you will see certain amounts of books about the topic of Chechnya.
Rekao si mi kada dolaziš u Ameriku u juni julu.
Da, tako je. To će biti ili jun ili juli. Biće jedan od tada meseca. Da, treba da posjetim jednog svog prijatelja koji živi u Minneapolis, Minnesota, namely Duluth. That's a tiny district, the tiniest town between Minneapolis and Woodbury. And it's on the coast of the Mississippi River. And it's been kind of frozen. It has been frozen till a couple of months ago.
So what other languages of the Caucasus you know?
So I'll come to you. I'll come to your place at Florida as soon as I reach there.
Okay.
I can go there whenever I want. I just to pick up a charter flight and to pay for the ticket, the airplane ticket. I'm off, to go. I'll come to you, my friend. I'll visit you. So I promise. So yeah.
What other languages of the Caucasus you speak?
Well, I learned Georgian for many years. It started 2015 when I get my memories back. My memories back. Yeah.
In Serbia.
This is when I timidly have started to learn it. The pursuing process of the language, which is one of the most beautiful idioms that I've ever learned in my lifetime. And Kartuli Ena, that means Georgian language. So the Georgian ambassador is about to come here soon, where I am now. He's about to make a lecture in the cultural center of the town. So he's gonna speak about the mutual connections and the diplomatic relations between Serbia and Georgia.
Cool.
And they're about to offer Georgian food And yeah, it's going to be an amazing thing to be present at.
Nice.
So I'll use the opportunity to speak to practice some Georgian with them after the lecture.
Very good. And so, what about Armenian? Or Armenian, you don't know it that well.
Oh no, I learned Armenian. That's the third Caucasian language that I been learning. But I have a lot of Armenian friends.
Oh yeah, you told me before.
Including the honorary consul that I mentioned at the beginning of this session.
Yeah.
Who's celebrating his 70th birthday today. I'm saluting him once more.
Maybe he'll be watching our video.
Yeah. That's he's gonna watch.
Hey, I also have a lot of Serbian dictionaries. Imam mnogo srpski rečnik.
Stvarno?
Da.
Oh, idemo dalje. Yeah, let's go further. Further on.
What else I have? I also have a lot of Serbian songs. Imam mnogo srpski muzika. Mariko Rokvić. Mariko Rokvić.
On je umro, koliko sam ja obavešten.
Yeah, he died not too long ago. And I also have Žinana Đurić.
A znaš da sam ja, kad sam ja rođen, ja sam se rodio, da kažem, slučajno u Beogradu, u Jugoslaviji, mogao sam da se rodim na nekom drugim mjestima, pošto moji roditelji su putovali tada, moja majka je putovala avionom do samog kraja trudnoće. Ja sam se rodio pored njegovog sina. Dakle, njegov sin Nikola Rokvić, ja sam rođen pored njega u istom porodilištu. Zamisli to.
Šta je se Šibana Šiban Slučić? That's I don't know if you can see that.
Kako, Šaban Šaulić?
Yeah, that's right.
Pa dobro, ja sam operski pevač, to znaš, ali ja cenim, to ne slušam tu muziku, ali cenim njegovo pevanje jer sam ga čuo, to je bio dobar pevač. On je poginuo u saobraćaju nesreći.
Đurđer Balašević.
Yeah.
Yeah, he died.
He died in a car crash, in a car accident in Germany. I Đorđe Balašević je isto umro.
Yeah, died last year.
Da, on nije bio pevač, on je bio pesnik.
Yeah.
On nije bio toliko, da kažem, talentovan za pevanje koliko za pisanje poezije. Bio jedan od velikih pesnika. Zvali su ga Panonski Mornar.